There's a country where the president banned black cars, built a golden statue of himself that rotates to face the sun, and created a giant burning pit in the desert that's been on fire for over 50 years. And you've probably never heard of it. Welcome to Turkmenistan, the world's most bizarre country that sounds like it was designed by a Bond villain on acid. Stay until the end because fact number 13 is going to make you question everything you know about reality. And remember, every day is a happy day. Let's dive in. Okay, imagine walking through the desert and stumbling upon a massive crater that looks like a portal straight to hell itself. That's exactly what you'll find in the middle of the Karakum Desert. In 1971, Soviet scientists were drilling for natural gas when the ground literally collapsed beneath them, creating a crater 230 feet wide and 65 feet deep. To prevent poisonous gas from escaping, they decided to light it on fire, thinking it would burn out in a few weeks. That was 53 years ago. It's still burning, 24/7, non-stop. This thing has been on fire longer than most of your parents have been alive. Locals call it the door to hell, and honestly, they're not wrong. It's one of the most surreal sights on planet Earth. But here's where things get really weird. Turkmenistan was ruled by a guy named Saparmurat Niyazov, who called himself Turkmenbashi, which literally means leader of all Turkmen. This man wrote a book called the Ruhnama, basically his spiritual guide mixed with revisionist history, and made it mandatory reading for everyone in the country. And I don't mean recommended reading. I mean if you wanted to get a driver's license, you had to pass a test on this book. Want to graduate school? Better know the Ruhnama. Applying for a job? Hope you studied. He built giant statues of this book that would open up at certain times of the day. He put quotes from it on billboards, buildings, and even had it launched into space aboard a Russian rocket. The level of ego here is literally astronomical. Now let's talk about the capital city, Ashgabat. This place holds the Guinness World Record for having the highest concentration of white marble buildings in the world. We're talking 543 buildings covered in over 4.5 million square feet of white Italian marble. The entire city looks like someone built Las Vegas in the desert and painted everything white. But here's the creepy part. It's practically empty. You'll see these massive 8-lane highways with almost no cars, huge apartment buildings with no lights on, parks with no people. It's like a post-apocalyptic movie set where everyone forgot to show up. The government spent billions building this marble wonderland while much of the country lives in poverty. It's basically a life-sized architectural monument to dictatorship. Remember Turkmenbashi, that president I mentioned? In 2018, his successor, President Berdimuhamedow, decided that black cars were, wait for it, bad luck. So he just banned them. Traffic police were ordered to stop black cars, impound them, and owners were forced to either repaint them or have them confiscated. The reason? The president believed black cars were unlucky and aesthetically displeasing. So overnight, everyone had to drive white or silver cars. Imagine waking up one day and your government tells you your car is now illegal because of its color. That's Turkmenistan for you. Back to Turkmenbashi, because this guy was on another level. He built a 250-foot tall monument called the Arch of Neutrality, topped with a 40-foot gold-plated statue of himself. But that's not even the best part. The statue rotates. Throughout the day, it slowly spins so that it's always facing the sun. Because apparently, being a dictator isn't enough. You need your golden likeness to follow the sun like some kind of authoritarian sunflower. It took 127 metric tons of steel and gold to build this thing. Meanwhile, average monthly salary in Turkmenistan? About $300. Turkmenbashi's ego knew no bounds. He renamed the month of January after himself. He renamed April after his mother. But wait, there's more. He also renamed bread after his mother. Bread, the thing people eat every day. He renamed the word for bread in the Turkmen language from çörek to Gurban Sultan Ece, his mother's name. Imagine going to a store and asking for mother's name instead of bread. Towns, streets, airports, schools, everything got renamed after him or his family. The city of Krasnovodsk, now it's Turkmenbashi. The airport, Turkmenbashi International. The major seaport, you guessed it, Turkmenbashi. Turkmenistan has some of the most restrictive internet access in the entire world. We're talking North Korea levels of censorship. Social media, heavily restricted or blocked. News websites, censored. Want to use WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger? Good luck. The government monitors all communications. There's basically one internet service provider owned by the government. Only about 25% of the population even has internet access. TV and newspapers are all state-controlled. Independent journalism doesn't exist. It's like living in an information black hole. Reporters Without Borders ranks Turkmenistan 177th out of 180 countries for press freedom. The only countries worse? North Korea, Eritrea, and Iran. Okay, here's something actually cool about Turkmenistan. They have a breed of horse called the Akal Teki, and these things look like they're made of liquid gold. Their coats have this insane metallic sheen. They literally look like they've been dipped in gold paint. It's caused by the structure of their hair, which reflects light in a unique way. These horses are Turkmenistan's national pride. They're on the coat of arms, on the currency, featured in art everywhere. The current president is obsessed with them. He's written books about them, built monuments to them, and regularly shows off his riding skills in carefully choreographed state videos. Say what you want about the dictatorship, these horses are absolutely stunning. On paper, Turkmenistan sounds great. Free healthcare, free education, subsidized housing, and utilities. But here's the catch. Free healthcare means you might have to bribe doctors just to get treatment. Hospitals lack basic supplies and equipment. During COVID-19, Turkmenistan was one of the few countries that claimed to have 0 cases. Not because they didn't have COVID, but because the government literally denied it existed and arrested anyone who said otherwise. Doctors were ordered to diagnose patients with acute respiratory illness instead. The word coronavirus was essentially banned. So yeah, healthcare is free if you can actually access it, afford the bribes, and pretend certain diseases don't exist. Here's something genuinely interesting though. Turkmenistan has massive natural gas reserves. We're talking the world's 4th largest proven reserves. Because of this, citizens get free natural gas, electricity, and water up to certain limits. Gas for cars is heavily subsidized. We're talking pennies per liter. The country literally has so much natural gas, they don't know what to do with it all. That burning crater we talked about? That's just gas they're wasting because they have too much. But despite all this resource wealth, the average person is still poor. Where does all the money go? Well, I think we can guess. Here's something really weird. Nobody actually knows how many people live in Turkmenistan. The government claims about 6.4 million people, but independent estimates suggest it might be as low as 3 to 4 million. Why the discrepancy? Well, Turkmenistan has one of the highest emigration rates in Central Asia. People are leaving in droves, but the government doesn't update the numbers because it would look bad. Hundreds of thousands have fled to Turkey, Russia, and other countries to escape the authoritarianism and economic problems. But officially, They still live in Turkmenistan. It's like the government is pretending people who left years ago are still there, just to keep the population numbers up. Want to get married in Turkmenistan? Hope you're not planning a big celebration. The government limits wedding celebrations to 200 guests maximum. Why? Allegedly to prevent excessive spending and promote modest lifestyles. But it gets weirder. For years, the government also restricted weddings to specific state-approved venues. You couldn't just celebrate wherever you wanted. Of course, government events can have thousands of people. Rules for thee, not for me. Oh, and getting divorced is nearly impossible. The process is intentionally bureaucratic and humiliating, especially for women, because nothing says we care about families like trapping people in unhappy marriages. Remember Turkmenbashi? He died in 2006, but his cult of personality lives on. His successor, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedow, built a massive mausoleum complex for him that looks like a palace. We're talking marble, gold trim, elaborate architecture. People are still expected to show reverence. His birthday is still celebrated. His books are still mandatory reading in many contexts. But here's where it gets really interesting. Berdimuhamedow started building his own personality cult while maintaining the old one. So now Turkmenistan has two overlapping personality cults. It's like they couldn't decide which authoritarian to worship, so they just said, both. And the current president, Serdar Berdimuhamedow, who is the son of the previous president, is continuing the tradition. It's basically a family business of authoritarianism at this point. Okay, let's end on something slightly more fun. Turkmenistan has a national holiday dedicated to melons. Every year, the country celebrates Turkmen Melon Day with festivals, competitions, melon eating contests, and the president showing up to honor the best melons. President Berdimuhamedow even wrote a poem about melons. A poem. He also had a golden statue of himself erected next to a melon. Because when you're a dictator, apparently melons are serious business. To be fair, Turkmen melons are supposedly amazing, sweet, aromatic, and they can be stored for months. But still, a national holiday? With monuments? Last fact, Turkmenistan is obsessed with being neutral. In 1995, the UN officially recognized Turkmenistan's permanent neutrality. They celebrate Neutrality Day as one of their biggest holidays. They built that giant golden statue monument specifically to celebrate neutrality. But here's the irony. They claim neutrality while maintaining one of the world's most repressive regimes. They're neutral internationally, but definitely not neutral when it comes to controlling their own citizens. They don't take sides in conflicts, don't join military alliances, and maintain diplomatic relations with basically everyone. Which is actually kind of smart when you're sitting on massive gas reserves that everyone wants. So they're neutral in geopolitics, but when it comes to human rights, not so much. So there you have it, 15 absolutely insane facts about Turkmenistan, one of the world's most bizarre countries. From burning craters that won't die, to mandatory presidential literature, to golden rotating statues, to banned black cars, this place is like someone created a country using a random generator of weird dictator policies. But hey, at least they have cool horses and delicious melons, right? If this video absolutely blew your mind, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because we're diving into more bizarre countries you've never heard of. Drop a comment telling me which facts shocked you the most. I'm personally still stuck on the bread being renamed after someone's mom. And remember, every day is a happy day